Alright, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Here you're gonna show me off this Immortals game.
Let's do a quick little let's play of this game, Immortals Fenyx Rising. This is a pretty new game I bought on sale over the holidays. And I thought it was pretty cool, so I just wanted to show it off. Because I think this is a pretty cool game, and I think people that maybe were on the fence about buying the game, if they just kind of saw what I see, they might be interested in playing it or picking it up. Yeah.
What kind of game is it?
All right, yeah. So I'll get into that real quick. Disclaimer though is I'm pretty late in the game. I have cleared like I've cleared like 3 zones already. So you're gonna see a lot of like pretty late game abilities. So if you're not into seeing some of that stuff, then maybe don't watch this video. But I will say these abilities aren't very crazy or flashy. They're not like, they're just upgraded versions of the abilities you get at the beginning of the game. So it's not that big of a deal.
So this is like an RPG?
Kind of. I'd say this is more of an adventure action game. More in line of so you're gonna hear me say this a lot. So this is more like similar to Zelda in that way, because it's like you're not really, you get better gear. You get gear, and like your attack numbers go up, but you're not really, it's not really an RPG. You know, I have a bunch of weapons and armors, but they don't make numbers go up, right? I can upgrade like how effective my armor is, but then that just upgrades all of my armors. And I can upgrade my sword, but it upgrades all my swords. So as you can see, my sword is like, what, 6? It's level 6 sword, so it's maxed out. So all these swords are going to do the same amount of damage, but they all have different kind of properties, right? This sword will freeze enemies on dodge, or freeze enemies on stealth attack, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So like one of the big things about this game is exploration, and so you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for this playthrough, this quick look here, I'm just going to go into this new zone that I've never been to, because I've pretty much cleared out this zone. So
And so all those clouds on the map mean that you haven't been there yet?
yeah, exactly. So I haven't scouted the region. So what you gotta do, in true Ubisoft fashion, maybe you can guess what I need to do to get those clouds to go away.
A lot of climbing.
A
Go
lot
into the top
of climbing.
Of something.
Yep, gotta climb to the top of a thing and do a thing, and then the area will be revealed. Yeah.
Because looking at it from the bottom doesn't matter. You gotta do it. You go.
If you do it from the tower, then all is revealed.
Tower of Power.
And you know what? I think I see like a legend, maybe that looks like a legendary creature, which I kind of want to do. I'm almost out of stamina. If I run out of stamina here, I'm just gonna die. So I'm gonna drink a potion here. Yeah, stamina is pretty important in this game. So if you're like flying like I was, or gliding, and you run out of stamina mid-flight, you're just gonna fall to your death.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
Pretty
You're
bad.
like Mr. Squishy.
So yeah, so similar to Breath of the Wild, you have like a little stamina meter, and you can climb basically at any surface. That's another thing you're gonna hear me say a lot, like Breath of the Wild, because this game is very much like it, but different in a few key ways, which I'll get into later. Yeah, I think this might be a legendary creature. So let's see what we can do to these guys. Try to hit one of these guys with a sneak attack. Get some big damage in real quick.
I just like how the main guy there, he doesn't see you at all. He's like, nope.
Well, he sees me now. So I have this cool ability on my bow where if I do the guided shot and hit him with the headshot, it does explosion damage to other dudes around him. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm kind of abusing it. I'm just like passively damaging the boss by hitting that guy in the head.
Hey man, put it in the game. Just gotta take advantage of it.
And also this bow, if I hit him in the head, it has a chance to breathe. So that's why you see me doing this, a lot of this headshotting stuff, so I can set up a big move like this, charge up my hammer.
Hammer at Thor. So I see that you're getting crystals from the enemy that got defeated. Is that your currency?
Yeah, it's kind of a, there's a couple of different currencies, like blue, I kind of forget what they all do, but I think, so you look at the top right of the screen,
yep,
you'll see a bunch of crazy currencies, right? Like, those all upgrade kind of different things. Like the Ambrosia Crystal, I have 9 of them. I think that's like my health. Zeus's Lightning Bolts, you can use those, you redeem those to level up your stamina. And then the coins, which I have 20 of, you use those to level up skills. And I think the blue crystals, I think you use to, in combination with red or something like that, you use to upgrade your weapons. Sword or axe or bow, something like that.
So in this game, do you find all of your weapons and armor and such, or can you actually buy anything?
No, there are no vendors. No, you find everything. So, like, you will see... Okay, well, you won't see any chests here because I've cleared them all. Well, you can see the ones that I've cleared. But yeah, these chests, or these, like, areas of interest, it's pretty much where you're going to find the items. So I think I'm entering a new zone here. So yeah, so I'm gonna guess that that statue of Athena is gonna be the thing I have to climb on top of to reveal the map. One thing I do like about this game is it has that quality of exploration where you get to the top of a vantage point and you scattered out by visual sightline, and then you just decide, like, oh, there's a thing, I want to go there, and then you just go there. You know, it's that old, you know, you see that mountain over there, you can go there type of thing, you know, when they first rolled out Skyrim, right?
And you can actually go there.
And you can actually go there, yeah. And so, yeah, so it gives that game that kind of adventure feel now. I think Breath of the Wild did this way better than this game. Because in that game, in Breath of the Wild, you would basically do a similar thing. You'd get to somewhere, right, a vantage point, and then you would visually ID places that you... That's a chicken. Places that you wanted to go. But the game didn't tell you anything else. You would just see, like, something interesting, and you'd be like, huh, I wonder what that temple is, and then you'd mark it on your map. But you wouldn't know what it was, right? But in this game, as you can see, like, you see RT reveal.
Yeah.
I just reveal it, and it just tells me that that's a chest guarded by monsters. There's no mystery. And as you can see, like, there's a little indicator that's telling me if I'm close to revealing a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So as I get closer, like, my controller rumbles, and that little indicator starts moving faster until I finally find it right there, and it's like, that's a chest. And so now that's on my map forever, you know? And so, like, you're not really visually IDing. I'm looking at things through the ground right now. Like, I can't actually see these things. I'm looking at them through the earth and marking them.
Now, do you think that's a better way of doing things, or a worse way of doing things?
I think that's a much worse way of doing things, because it just kind of cheapens the adventure experience, you know? Because that was the thing that made Breath of the Wild so special, was that everything you found, you really felt like you felt like a cartographer almost, because everything that you found, you felt like you were the first one to find it.
Yoke oxen for plowing. Serve these farms well. The soil.
So
was
in
rich,
this game,
the
like,
crops were
who are you?
bountiful.
Like, what is the story?
Oh, sure, yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so you are Fenyx. You're like a shield boy. You're a nobody. And then something bad happens to the world, and all the gods, the Greek gods, have their essences taken away from them, and everybody is frozen in time. And the Titan, this guy, Typhon.
No more wondering when! I am here for you!
This guy Typhon is trying to change the world the way he thinks it should be. He thinks the world should be a perfect place with no flaws, and people should have no character flaws. And you're an unassuming guy who's trying to stop him, and then you end up helping various gods gain their essences back.
So he wants a perfect world where no one has flaws. Yet in this world he's created, you're fighting like chimeras.
Yep.
Like
Really angry chickens.
Yeah. I guess a chimera doesn't have any flaws. It's the perfect game.
It does get pretty interesting though, because then you meet some of the gods that have had their essences, their flaws taken away from them, and you think like that would, on the surface, make them into not assholes. Because as we all know, a lot of the Greek gods were terrible people, terrible entities that did terrible, awful, selfish things to people for fun.
The world was their place. We were the puppets.
Exactly. So you meet like Ares, the god of war, but without his essence of like warmongering and bravado and confidence. He's just like a scaredy chicken, a literal chicken, who's just scared of everything and just acts like a dunce,
So that's really interesting that you say that, because like, is Typhon really trying to make a perfect world with no flaws? Because that would seem weird that making someone into a scaredy chicken would be considered flawless.
Sure. Or maybe he has the beef against the gods and he wants to play a cruel joke and make them into the opposite of what they are. I don't know. There's not a lot of story in this game.
It's just enough to get, the ball rolling.
Yeah, exactly. It's just enough to get you kind of running around the world.
So now is this a boss encounter here?
Sort of. So, this is like when you go into a new region that you don't really have control over yet. Typhon will engage in a thing called Typhon's Rage or something like that, and he will summon a hero, a corrupted hero. This one is Atlanta, to come and fight you. And unless you clear out the Wraith layer, they're going to keep coming after you. And they're going to keep sending monsters after you, and it kind of gets annoying. Kind of makes it difficult to explore the new area until you go to the layer and kind of clear it out. So this Wraith of Atlanta is going to keep coming back for me until I go to the layer and kind of free her of her Wraith status. But it's pretty cool because you get to fight some legendary characters. One of them very early on is Odysseus.
So for these layers, are they easy to find, or are they like you gotta really?
The legendary heroes prove
Yeah,
to be no match
so
for your skill.
once you reveal the area, oh, there it is right there. I didn't even need to. There it is. That's the Wraith layer right there.
Okay.
So that's like a boss dungeon, basically.
I am proud of you. Together, Your blade and my power can remake this world. I am waiting for you.
You know what? I just want to get to my tower, feel the land, so I know where I'm going.
These monsters are just taking it away from you.
Yep.
So I've noticed so far there is no loading screen. Is there like any loading screen at all in this game?
You will hit loading screens if you go to like the dungeons or the challenge rooms. Those are really the only screens you're gonna hit in this game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be very seamless because you're exploring kind of everywhere. That would be a big annoyance if you're like, oh, loading time.
Yeah,
loading time again.
that's one thing that this game does very well. It's a huge world, and you just kind of go wherever you want. And if if you're in this world, you're not going to hit any loading screen or anything like that. So it's quite immersive. Gives you that big adventure feel, which is one of the things I do like about this game. So even if I sound overly negative about it, that's only because I'm comparing it to, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made, Breath of the Wild, Because it's not as good as that, but it doesn't have to be. Because on its own, it's good enough. It's fun. I've been enjoying my time with it so far. I have like, let's see, I have like 30-something hours. Yeah. 30-something hours.
38 hours. Games gotta hold your attention for that long.
Yeah. And
It's gotta have some goodness to it.
For a not a very story-heavy game, very little story happens. Really, the bulk of the game is really just this: exploring the world, marking points on the map, going to them, finding treasure, doing these challenge dungeons, which I will show you also. Most of the game is just that, but it's pretty fun. And so, since this is a Ubisoft game, gotta get my climbing in.
Yeah, it's everything. It's just Climbing Simulator 101.
Yeah. I guess the cool thing about this game, the thing that they ape from Breath of the Wild is the stamina meter. It limits you, You can't just climb. I mean, you can climb anything, but you can't just climb anything because you have stamina meters. So, if I get to here and I run out, I just fall to my death.
Gotcha.
Because everything costs stamina.
Unless you use one of those potions.
Unless I use one of those potions, yeah. So there's actually a little bit of strategy to it, because you want to find like lips where you can rest and regain your stamina, right?
Yeah.
It's a little negligible at this point of the game, because as you can see, I have like 2.5
as tremendous
meters.
as in all the stories. Hope you don't mind.
And
that
you
I'm
got
scaling
a
your
bunch of
mighty
stamina
ages.
potions.
Her
So
shield, like
stamina
ages,
potions and
celebrated Athena's dominance
basically
in strategic matters of war.
yeah.
It's my ages, So it's also a symbol of Athena's love for Papa Zeus.
If you say so. Athena's own skill inspired the Greeks to create beautiful clothing and tapestry.
She should have inspired
So
them to
as
create
this
an
seems to
elevator.
be very open world, like once you get total
And of
control, can
course,
you just
you're
go
out.
in any direction, or are you kind of stuck and going in a certain pattern?
Yeah, so when the game starts, you're basically in this zone. This is like the beginner zone.
Okay.
But yeah, you could just go in. You can go here if you wanted to. I get the sense that the enemies scale to your gear power.
Fenyx knew the
So I feel like if you just went here, you would be getting the same experience, like the same kind of gameplay experience as you would if you just did this place first. Because I think when you start leveling these things up, I think the monsters in the world
owl represented
little
the
more
wisdom
powerful.
of Athena. Wisdom she shared.
Okay,
with
well
mortal
that
heroes
gives a
on their
good
quests.
piece of
Seems
replayability
like a
for
waste of
different
good
players,
wisdom.
because someone might go right, someone might go left, and if that's the case, then they kind of get the same You don't have to worry about, oops, I went into the wrong area, like in a Dark Souls.
Right. Yeah. You can just go do it in any order. I think if you wanted to. So I gotta get to the plume of her helmet. But like this right
So
here,
how
this
are
is,
the
yeah.
Sorry, how are the controls for all the climbing? Is it pretty smooth, or does it feel janky?
No, it feels nice. It's very simple. It's just you walk up to a surface, you're climbing it. I'm not pressing any buttons. That's it. And you just move in the direction you want to climb. It's very simple. It's pretty nice. All right, now that I'm up here, I'll hit the scout button, and it should reveal the lands.
Just like Ubisoft.
Yes.
This land was
Yep.
bathed in Athena's wisdom,
This is
filled with temples
you know this game.
dedicated
This
to
is
her
Ubisoft the
skill
game.
and judgment. Sites
You play
of
one, you
ancient
play them all.
history.
yeah, kind of. Fortunately, I do like
Dangers
them all.
untold.
So
Nice. What's the rent like in this
So
neighborhood?
would you say that if you are a fan of Ubisoft style games, then initially you would be a fan of this game?
I don't know. That's kind of a hard one because this game is in a lot of ways
Phoenix beheld
kind
a
of not
magnificent structure,
like other
the
Ubisoft
archives,
games.
a
I'll get to
place
that.
to study the
these
heroics
two dudes
and
are done
strategies
talking.
of past glories.
Ah, that will be where Athena is then.
But you love all your children equally, of course.
Ha! Good one!
Cool. So I reveal the land. So now I can see all my marks that I've made. But yeah, to answer your question though, yeah, I think for the most part, if you're into Ubisoft games, you're probably gonna like this. But this game has a different flavor to it than I'd say like Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
This has more of like an adventure feel, and a lot less of like there's no side quests. Like I have one quest: defeat Typhon. You know. And all the side stuff is me doing this, marking things on the map, and then doing them, going to that chest, or going to the arrow challenge, or doing a challenge dungeon. That's the side stuff.
And do those side things give you, I'm assuming they give you bonuses, like if you do that arrow challenge, you get like some type of perk or currency?
Yeah, you'll probably get, coins to upgrade your abilities, or you'll get lightning to upgrade your stamina, or yeah, you're always getting something to upgrade, But here's the thing like that I don't like about this game. It goes back to like this whole marking thing. Like I'm not actually looking for points of interest. I'm just moving my cursor around until I get this.
Ah, okay. I see it. And
You
then
see-
it's like, oh, there's something there.
Oh, there's something here. It's like I'm gonna find this. Oh, it's right there, right? What am I looking at right now? I'm not looking at anything, right? But I know it's there,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna mark it.
That
it's like-
that reminds me of the beginner mechanic for LA Noire, where if it's turned on, like there's something that you have to look at, important for the story clue, because now you got the music going on.
Right.
Whereas if it's a clue but there's no music, then well, this is useless.
Right.
There's no point.
So I don't know. Maybe you can turn this off, but I mean, I'm playing on default, so this is how they want you to play the game,
Yeah.
And that chest that I revealed, that's on the other side of the mountain.
You got some special sight going on there.
Yeah, so so I'm not actually surveying the land. I'm not looking for things, that pop out. I'm just moving my cursor around. This is just like a pixel hunt, right?
Yep.
And so the thing that Breath of the Wild did really well was the map didn't tell you if things were there. You just had to look at the terrain or look at a building, and then you had to guess, like, well, I guess something's probably there. And then you just put a mark on it, And the great thing about that game, the thing that makes that game so good is that anytime that you thought there should be a thing there, there was always a thing there. Always. That was what was really great about that game. Anytime you felt like there should be something interesting in this area, there was always something interesting to do or see in that area. And, you know, as you can see, there's lots of interesting stuff here, but it's just a checklist. I'm just like, I'm doing a checklist here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this, then I'll get that, then I'll get that, then I'll do this. You know, I'm just kind of running, you know, I'm just doing a little laundry list of things here.
Yeah.
It's not bad, because the things are fun. They're all fun things to do, but that kind of, like, epic make-your-own adventure feel is like, really diminished when it's done this way.
Yeah, so it sounds like from a lot of what you're saying so far is this game tries to be like Breath of the Wild, but it misses the mark a little bit on some of those things, like making you feel like I can go anywhere, and
well,
this
it does make you feel like you
cool.
can go anywhere. I mean, it nails that. So you can go anywhere, but it's missing that really special element that's very hard to nail down because it's kind of intangible, right? It's like the secret sauce that makes Breath of the Wild such a special game. This game doesn't have it, but it almost has it. You know, like a lot of the elements. Oh, there's your loading screen, right? So I go into a challenge dungeon, and there's the loading screen.
Pretty quick loading screen too.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. But yes, like there's just a lot of stuff that's like almost there. Like it's got the stamina meter. It's got the stamina meter that governs all of your actions: climbing, fighting, double jumping. Similar to Breath of the Wild. It's got these challenge dungeons where you do like physics-based puzzles, you know, similar to Breath of the Wild. It's got, you know, the big open world, go anywhere, you know, but they're all just not quite as good, you know. But it's good enough. For me, anyways.
So it really sounds like if Breath of the Wild wasn't here, then this would be. It's just because if you just compare it to Breath of the Wild, it kind of falls a bit flat. But you take Breath of the Wild out of it, it's a perfectly good game.
Yeah, I mean, this game, let's be honest here, this game doesn't exist without Breath of the Wild, you know, because they took so much inspiration from that game, you know. But then again, there's not a lot of games that do that. There's not a lot of Breath of the Wild style games out there. That game came out how many years ago? 3 years ago? Something
like that.
And you can count on one hand the games that are like that have come out since, you know. This one of them. So if you're like me, like I love that game and I want more of that kind of gameplay, like this game is great for that. On its own merits, this game is also just fun, you know. Like, so if you can kind of remove yourself from kind of the comparisons that this game will draw to Breath of the Wild, if you can just kind of get over that, there is a fun game here that you can just enjoy on its own merits. And this is just this is like a game that I just really like, where like, you know, after like a long day of exercising and studying and stuff like that, I just want to sit down and kind of turn the brain off and just, you know, play a game where I can beat up some dudes and solve some puzzles. That's all this game is, you know.
Yeah, you're not dealing with intergalactic politics or any deep kind of story. It's just take Cerberus for a walk.
Yeah,
that's all you're doing.
Yeah. I guess like the one thing that they... Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, who would this game be best for? Like, what kind of gamer would want to play this game?
I think like people who like adventure games, adventure action games. I think this will scratch the itch, because it's like the combat is deep enough that action fans can get something out of combat. There's like, you know, enough abilities that let you kind of come up with your own combos. There's, different ways to deal with enemies, like once I get out of here, I'll show you a different build. Like this is like the tank build, right? So this armor is like it's like damage resistance and extra hammer damage, right? But there's other ways you can do it. I'll do bow build next time I get out of here.
Okay.
Totally different way of playing the game. I think that's it. Yeah. And then what was it? What bow is it? Yeah, I think that's the one. So there's enough, variety in the combat to make this like justifiable for like people who like action games. And then there's that huge open map that gives you sort of that adventure feel. So I also think this game would be great for kids. It's very lighthearted, it's bright, it's colorful. The humor is a little bit simple, but good enough if you're a kid. The story is framed around the dialogue between Zeus and Prometheus, and they have like this sort of like kind of friendly but antagonistic kind of relationship. Where Zeus is a complete asshole, and Prometheus is the guy who's actually like driving the story. And Zeus is always the guy who's he's going like skip the boring stuff. Tell me about the time Fenyx fought this guy.
Yeah, and also the combat. Like I didn't really notice any blood or gore or anything like that. So that definitely would be better for kids as well.
Yeah. So it's not a very gory game. So I think this is like pretty good game for kids. It's easy to pick up and play. You can play it on its difficulties. I'm playing on hard, but you can just play it on easy. Play it on easy. Just enjoy the puzzles, and just mash your way through some enemies if you want. It's a totally valid way of playing this game. I gotta figure out what to do here. I gotta get a weight over there somehow. See if I can maybe throw this metal block over there.
So what happens if you throw that and you miss and it goes into the void?
Yeah, then there's the spawning area. I'll just have to go back to the place where it spawns, retrieve it. Unfortunately, I missed, so I will have to go over there. So there's a lot of this stuff going on, kind of physics-based puzzles. They're not really... So yeah, that's another thing, right? The Breath of the Wild does. There's like all kinds of like challenge dungeons where you have to solve some kind of puzzle. Where the games are different is Breath of the Wild puzzles are very clever and very interesting. And the ones in this game are, again, good enough, but not as clever, not as interesting. But good. They're okay.
So how much of this game for getting gear and all of your stuff is based around completing puzzles?
Puzzles? I think... I'd say it's not that much, I think. Like, you will get some gear from these puzzle rooms, but I'd say the vast majority of the gear that you get... I can't look at the map right now, because I'm in a dungeon, but... The vast majority of the gear you get is from the overworld map. But the thing is, like, the gear is not super duper important. Like, this sword doesn't do more damage than this sword, They just do different things. This one does more damage if I land the power strike finisher, This one does more damage if I air combo with it. You know, they're just all like, you know, kind of catered to different playstyles.
So then this game might not be the best for, say, someone who's into like hardcore RPGs then.
Nah, that's not gonna scratch that itch, I think. Like, if you're looking for, like, you know, stats-based... like, yeah, stats-based, kind of, you know, like Suikoden or something like that. I don't think it'll do it for you. So I'm actually a little bit, I'm a little bit stumped here. Got that block over there that lifts these things up. And if I throw this block, it'll be destroyed. I have to somehow get 2 blocks over there without destroying them, which means I have to get them over there without throwing them.
Is there another? You can't get another block from over this way?
This thing spawns the 3 blocks. I've already moved them over, but I'm gonna toss. The metal block is the only one that doesn't blow up when I throw it. So I'm just gonna see what happens if I take this and throw it over there. Of course, I miss.
Seems to be a pattern. Physics.
Alright, so this thing does nothing until 2 things. Oh, things? Gotcha. So that's the thing, I gotta get those 2 boxes over here. Or wait. Thought there was a way for me to clone myself. There might be an ability that I need to use. What is it? Yeah, create a D.
How long will that decoy last?
I don't know. I have never used it. Now I gotta figure out how to get the stone thing over there without tossing it.
So, just from like an outsider's perspective here, is there like a lot of this kind of fetch and carry in these kind of vaults here?
There is a lot. There's a lot of this. Yeah, there's kind of a lot of this.
Because it seems like you know, for me, like watching this, it's a little tedious having to fetch and carry so many blocks all the time.
Yeah, there is a lot of this going on. Yeah, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna leave this dungeon. Don't feel like doing that right now. Come back to it later. There's kind of a lot of that. I'm actually kind of tired of doing it, because I've done it a lot. But there is some variety to these dungeons. Some of them are combat dungeons, some of them are... One of them is just like a pinball machine. It's a giant pinball machine where you have this huge ball and then you have to hit these paddles to make the ball go to places. What a lot of them are like wait, move a box to a place. Some of them are like obstacles. You gotta run a little obstacle course without falling. So platforming. But yeah, man, I'll just do like one more thing. I'll do a little combat chest. I think we'll just call it there.
Well, combat definitely looks pretty good from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, combat's pretty fun. I like it. And the exploration. Like, those are the things I think this game does the best.
Now, you're currently playing this on PC, correct?
Yeah. You can
Is
get
this a
on,
PC only game or on
no, this is on everything. Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox. You know Ubisoft loves that money. They're gonna put this on everything.
They do love their money.
Alright, there's probably gonna be guys guarding this. Oh yeah, cool. So I'll do the bow build on these guys.
Okay.
The Legolas build. Let me just make sure I got the right gear equipped. So I've got this. So do more damage with the bow, more rate of fire, better charging speed, more combo. Okay, more damage the higher my combo is. And headshots do more combo. Okay, cool.
So do you see this as the first game of a potential series for Ubisoft, or do you think this will just be like a one-shot deal for them?
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna do a little series with this. Ubisoft, they like their sequels. They're not really a one and done type of company, you know.
So that potentially, so this one's doing the Greek gods, then they could just go through the gambit. Next one might be the Norse, and then there may be some Egypt later. Kind of just do the Ubisoft rinse and repeat.
Maybe, or they could also keep it the Greek myth and just face it do a different hero.
Now, is there a lot of variety in the creatures that you face? Because this is the third Chimera, I think, I've seen you fight.
Right, so, sorta, but at the same time, no. So, like, this is like, we'll just call this Athena's zone.
Yep.
You're gonna see a lot of the same creatures, because this is like the Athena zone. So chimeras probably are a thing that they like to hang out here, but like in Ares' zone, you see like these like Goro-looking like 6-armed dudes walking around, and then here in the Forged Lands where Hephaestus is, you see a lot of like robot mechanical automatons kind of roaming around here. But within the zone itself, though, you will see a lot of the same enemies.
So I just saw that popped up on your screen. So you have like a hit counter. Is that just for show, or do you get like boost for the higher the counter goes?
Yeah, I get damage boost for the combo counter. And so with this build, every headshot gives me +5. And so once it's like above 30, I start doing more damage. So I'm relying on more damage. As long as I don't get hit here.
Now, is it a hit, or is it a hit in time-based loss for your counter?
Oh, the combo thing?
Yes.
It's just a hit.
Okay.
It's
as long as you don't get hit, it can continue on for like ever?
Yeah. Or, well, not really. If I don't do anything, it'll disappear.
Okay, so it's also time-based.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm about to lose it. Oh, no more.
But that was pretty cool that you had you were able to throw the rock too. That's the environmental damage.
You can do like I could, if I wanted to. I'm gonna see if I can find one. I can chop this tree down, pick it up. Oh no, my tree.
He knew he had you scouted, man.
Yeah, you do. Is there a chicken coming after me?
I think there is a chicken. He's taking on bears and chickens and chimeras in Athena zone. Now, when you level on your stamina or your health, it's always like a bar at a time.
Yeah, it's like 1 pip. Actually, I can do it right now since we just happen to have enough resources, and then we'll call it. So yeah, you got to go back to this area, right here, Hall of the Gods. Here's another thing, actually, another kind of comparison, but you can fast travel in this game, which is convenient. You know, you have to like. This game makes you go back and forth between locations, so it's nice to have this. But in Breath of the Wild, there's not. Everything is manual travel. But that actually added to the kind of the world building in that game, because when you traveled to somewhere, it meant something. It's like if you went to a faraway place, it really meant you weren't coming back for a while, you know?
So there's pros and cons to having the fast travel versus the not fast travel.
Yeah, I think for like this kind of a game, like, well, I don't know. The way this game's designed, you kind of need it, because this game has me coming back to this place over and over and over again to upgrade my stuff. Without fast travel, that would be tedious. But that's not a thing in Zelda. You're not having to do that, right? Zelda's just it's an adventure. You go to a place, you hang out there as long as you want, until you come back, you know?
Yeah.
I just live with the pain, you know? If it wants to.
So yeah, I can upgrade my health. So I've collected enough of these crystals, and so I'll just upgrade it. So I get 1 more pip of health. Get a cool little animation.
Gonna make that medical potion.
Yep. Feel hella healthy.
You should try it.
Then I don't know if I can upgrade my stamina. Oh, I can. Alright, so I spend Zeus's lightning to upgrade my stamina, so I'll get my pump on.
You can do some weightlifting there.
Yep, do some reps, some squats, dynamic stretching.
I can tell, like, seeing this, I can see this is really kind of a laid-back story, very kind of comedic take on this.
Yeah, it's not
situation.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here are the gods. Aphrodite, Ares, Hephaestus.
So I'm guessing once you finish out Athena zone, she's gonna pop up in that
Yeah, she'll appear.
empty spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Fenyx. This is a cool game. Like I hope I didn't sound like too overly negative about the game. If I did, it's only because I'm comparing it to one of my favorite games ever, you know. And it's just by nature not going to be as good as that. But on its own, it's good enough and worth playing, I think, if you want like an action adventure game.
Yeah, you definitely made the case with it. Like, if you're looking for a Breath of the Wild type game, then this is definitely one to check out. And it might not have the same polish and panache as a Breath of the Wild, but if you don't care about that, you just want to play another open world, fall to your death type of game.
Yeah, this is the game for you.
This is a game for you, yeah. Or even just like a kid's game, because he just fell 50,000 feet and plop. There's no gore or anything,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like a new age kids game.
It's pretty lighthearted.
Pretty cool.
This is a good game for kids, yeah. All right,
So what's your final take? What's your final comments on it?
I liked it. I like this game. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna beat it. This is a pretty hearty recommendation. You know, I can't really give a review because I haven't finished it, but like my impression so far is pretty positive. I enjoy the game, and I could easily recommend it to people who enjoy like action adventure.
How many 2 thumbs up or 1 thumb up?
I give it 2 thumbs up. It's good, you know. It's there's not a lot of these kinds of games out there, so it's not the worst thing in the world to have a Breath of the Wild knockoff. Yeah.
There's worse things that you could be knocking off than Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, thanks for joining me on this Let's Play.
It was fun, man. It looked a lot of fun for those who like this kind of style of game.
Yeah. All right. I'll catch you next time.
We'll see you later, guys.
All right.